excitement you wanted to know. You wanted adventure, a reality show. It's time to explore, we're not going slow. Trapping through the ride, it's time for the smoke show. Tired of the cookie cutter, same old shit. It's time for something sexy, a guaranteed hit. Well, saddle up, boy, and come on over. Look her in the eye and give up the soda. She waves you to a bedroom and meets you inside. Well, saddle up, big boy, let's go for a ride. Welcome to the smoke show. It's time to begin. Welcome to the smoke show. Make you grin. Welcome to the smoke show. It's hotter than hell. Welcome to the smoke show. Step right in. You try to focus through the smoking haze. You're looking across the room and get caught in a case. Locking eyes for what seems like days. Incredible action. She moves like a freak. You've got a drunken reaction. You're weak on your feet. Sultry and smooth. You're lost in the room. She's a sharp piece of steel when you don't know how to feel. Welcome to the smoke show. It's time to begin.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jim, and today I'd like to discuss with you a cool new knife that's just come out from Karbon Knives. And if you're unaware, Karbon Knives is owned by Ken Onion. This is his personal production brand, and all knives are his design and manufactured strictly to his specifications in partnership with Ketuo Knife. So, there's a little bit going on here, a little bit of backstory. I actually received a Karbon knife about 2 weeks ago before I received this. And that is the new aluminum version of the buckhorn. Now, I have already reviewed my titanium buckhorn. Absolutely love it. And it's easy to see why it won Best Collaboration Design at Blade Show 2024 just a few months ago. And I was carrying this, using it, pocketing it, all that kind of good stuff so I could get a good feel for it to do the review. And the smoke show showed up. And I'm kind of so excited about the smoke show that I'm doing this out of order. And this comes following a Ketuo review that I just uploaded yesterday on this one right here, the Yakuza. And I had mentioned in the Yakuza review that the next video that you'd be seeing from me was the Meridian from Ketuo. Well, that's not happening. Well, it's still going to happen, but it's obviously not the next video because this arrived. And honestly, once I opened it up, I went, yeah, I got to show this. But at least there's going to be a theme going here because it's going to have the copper foil carbon in there. So, spoiler alert, there's that. All right, let's close that up really quickly. And it's not really a spoiler because I've already shown you the photography, haven't I? Yeah, I always forget about that as I sit here to do the review. I forget that nothing's a surprise because I've already uploaded the photographs that I've taken, and you already know the knife and what it looks like. So here is the COA as it comes from Karbon Knives. The model is the Smoke Show, designed, of course, by Ken Onion. The blade is going to be M390 steel, which is a good combination of, I should say, composition of materials for EDC because you're going to get a good degree of wear resistance along with a great degree of corrosion resistance. And it's also easy to resharpen. So if you've never owned a knife with M390, you've heard it said a million times, M390 this, M390 that. It's on pretty much every production knife these days. And you might be thinking, well, it's probably not all that special because it's everywhere. It's still a phenomenal EDC steel. The frame is going to be 6AL4V titanium with an inlay of carbon fiber with the integrated copper foil, which is a fan favorite. Every time we see knives available with this copper-infused carbon fiber, people go nuts. And while that is certainly gorgeous and it really stands out on this knife, what's going to make it special is the way that it's constructed. Here I go again, trying to cover stuff up with my hands like I haven't already shown you detailed pictures. Anyway, it's the sandwiching of these materials. So your frame, you see right here, is in titanium. And then you're going to have these gold accents, which I'm going to have to assume is not brass. I'm going to have to assume that that is gold anodized titanium. And then the blue anodized titanium section that's serving as a frame around the inlay. Now, frames are something we typically don't see in folding knives. Frames are popular in fixed blade knives. It's a great way to allow segmented scales to really, really pop. So a lot of times you'll have a liner underneath the scale, and then you'll have frames. You'll have a line of a different material between the two segmented materials. So let's say you have carbon fiber, copper infused like this, and then you wanted to do, let's say, a marbled carbon fiber for a bolster area, and you felt that white would be a way to break that up. So you'd have a white liner between the blade and the inlay. Then you would have a white frame in between the copper carbon fiber and the marble carbon fiber. And you'd have a line here and then a line here. Frames aren't typically seen on folding knives. And when they are, it's generally going to be on very high-end, prestigious art knives. Knives where we're talking $15, $20, $30, $50, $150, $200,000 knives. And yes, I know that sounds ridiculous, but knives do get that expensive. And the thing about Ken Onion is he isn't restricted like many other knife designers are. Ken has made in his customs some of the most intricate and amazing jaw-dropping knives that you could ever imagine. And then as he went to work for Kershaw and designed, I couldn't even tell you how many knives he designed for them. I mean, dozens and dozens and dozens. I don't know how many, but an untold amount possibly is probably the best way to put that. He knew what the production limitations were, and he always pushed those limitations. He did some incredible design work, and he knew what could be achieved and what could not be achieved within the production realm. So when you look at his line here, again, Karbon Knives is his brand. He's going to take his design genius and he's going to integrate as many intricate, detailed components as he can, knowing where the line is, knowing where the factory is going to come back and say, no, we're incapable of doing this, or yes, we can pull this off if you can help us come up with a way to figure out how to do that in production. So seeing these two hockey pucks of color, these separate inlays of, again, I have to assume they're titanium. I don't believe they would have used brass in there. Combining it with the bead blasted titanium, I want to call it a bolster because it really is kind of a bolster, but notice how it comes back into the frame for about 2/3 of the length of the frame. Again, everything here is beautiful and extraordinarily difficult to concept as well as to execute. And to do this in a frame lock. If this were a liner lock, perhaps it would have been slightly easier. But to have this exposed lock, shape the lock so that it matches this design element is truly breathtaking. Now, I don't have to sit here and blow sunshine up Ken Onion's ass. He knows how great he is. And it's not like I'm going to score any brownie points, like I'm the only guy that's ever said he's amazing. But I really want to point out to you how difficult it had to have been to design all of these elements, figure out how it was actually going to work instead of, listen, I can sit here and draw up all kinds of wild shit on paper, okay? That doesn't mean it can actually be executed. I could turn that over to the factory and they go, yeah, what are you smoking? That simply cannot happen. He's sitting down and designing these elements and going, okay, how is this going to be done? Okay, this needs to be a stack. So I'm going to have my presentation scale of the frame. Inlaid into that is going to be this blue anodized titanium hockey puck. Then will be the gold hockey puck, and that's going to be stacked on top of that, which is stacked into there. And then stacked in that is going to be a carbon fiber scale. And then all of it is going to be contoured as well as the frame. And he knew that these had to be separate pieces. And that's friggin' genius, man. It really is absolute genius. He knew that this hockey puck was actually going to have to form into the liner to go underneath the carbon fiber scale. And then, as a designer must do, how am I going to tie all this together in a visual balance? Well, let me do a gold titanium backspacer, gold titanium pocket clip, and we'll bring some gold into the pivot as well. Now, I have one bit of unfortunate news here. As of the time of my recording this, there is no information on the Karbon website or on the Ketuo website as to what they've done for this pivot, how they've achieved this pinstriped look, or this pocket clip. So all I can say is use your imagination. There are certainly things, as you look at this, you go, well, it could have been done in a manner of ways, this way, or this way. So you get to choose your own adventure. How was it done? I don't know. Was it lasers? Was it selectively anodized after mirror polishing? I don't know. On the pocket clip, I'm going with lasers. I'm thinking a laser had to have done that. Now, there will be another edition of this available in the near future where this carbon fiber is going to be replaced by, get this, leather. Now, I don't know how durable that's going to be over time, and I don't give a shit. I think that is a rad idea. And I think it's going to feel really nice in the hand. And I've already seen the images, and it looks really handsome. It looks really, really cool. Now, I've talked a lot about how this knife looks and how it's constructed. I think it's important now to get to the specs, for those of you that need to get that out of the way. And then I'm going to talk about the performance of this knife, how it feels, what the action is like, how the ergonomics are, all that sort of stuff. So let's get that off to the side over here and list those specs. Overall length is 7.74 inches. So it's just a tick under 7 3/4 inches. So it's not huge, but it's not tiny either. Your blade length is 3.29 inches. That's going to be super easy to carry off as an EDC knife. And still a big enough blade to actually get work done. And being in M390, it's not a blade that you're going to worry about working with because it's going to handle pretty much anything you can throw at it. You've got a nice, clean, bead blasted finish on that M390. And your weight is 6.9 ounces. Now, I'll admit, it's got a little more weight to it than I expected for a knife that's this slim. I honestly thought it was going to be lighter in weight. But it's not overbearing at all. Now, the retail on this is going to be $473.95. What a random number that is. Street price appears to be $355. I have seen this listed at 3 online retailers so far. KetuoKnife.com, of course, since they are the main distributor for Karbon Knives. And then 1 or 2 other retail dealers have had them out for $355. Now, do I feel it's a good value? I think at $355, this is an insane value. And that's taking into account all the spectacular design and the materials, as well as it being a functional knife. Now, if you're just going off of it's a titanium frame lock with M390, I think it's an okay price. But you really have to take into account everything that's gone into this. If this were a custom knife, and I don't mean a Ken Onion custom, I mean anybody custom, this would be somewhere around $1,200, I would assume. If it were Ken Onion, $4,000 or $5,000 if it was a custom made by him. So I think $355 is a good value for what you're getting. The flipper tab is in the perfect spot, and it is shaped perfectly and has the perfect amount of jimping. It just works, and works extraordinarily well. Nice, snappy detent. It's not a harsh detent at all. It's not going to be a finger breaker. It's not going to be so hard that the flipper tab's going to be digging into your finger, but it's certainly not soft or weak at all. The action is gloriously smooth and very, very fast. The finish work is impeccable. It looks absolutely fantastic. Great color in this medium to light blue. Great coloring in the golds. The blue and gray pinstripes in the golds look really, really sharp as well. Blade alignment is flawless. The blade length to handle length ratio is fantastic. Comes right to the very edge without being in a danger of snagging in any way, shape, or form. Backspacer also helps with that as well. It's got a third length backspacer that's got a gear pattern to it, raised back portion with jimping, and it's open for a lanyard opening, which is fantastic. And I love the shape of this blade. Look at the belly that this gives you. Look at the cutting performance that this is going to have. You've also got a substantial sharpening notch on here. So if you are one of those people that feels every knife must have a sharpening choil, there you go. You're going to have plenty of life on this blade for resharpening years and years down the road. Ergos are fantastic. This feels really good in the hand for a large to extra large hand. Everything is gently contoured and swept. Nice contouring on the overall scales and frame, making it feel really nice. As far as bearing down on it and feeling the pocket clip, you really don't. It's almost like the pocket clip isn't there. You do notice it. You go, okay, there's a pocket clip there, but it doesn't dig in any way, shape, or form. The clip works fantastically as well. It goes into the pocket easily, hooks in nice and tight, and it pops out easily as well. You're not fighting it, yanking your pants halfway up your ass, trying to get your clip out of the pocket. Overall, just like I said about the buckhorn, it is a fan-friggin-tastic carry knife. Something that you can rely on a daily basis. And then when you pull it out in front of the right people, they're going to be impressed. They're going to see it and go, wow, Smoke Show really is an appropriate name for this knife. It is hot. It is a smoke show. It is sleek and it's sexy and it's almost sexual in nature. Some of you might look at it and go, oh, it's a bit gaudy. It's overdone with all the different color tones coming out. Gray and blue and gold and copper and black. And there's just so, yeah, I get that. Sure. But if you like it a little loud, this is going to be your puppy right here. This is like the Bandit Trans Am. It's a little tiny bit obnoxious, but it's that bit of obnoxious that really makes it attractive. In any other car, you wouldn't want that black with gold trim and a giant screaming chicken on the fucking hood. You wouldn't want that. But on that car, man, it works. It's cool. And I can easily admit the same type of thing about this knife. I don't know that I would want black, copper, yellow gold, pale blue, and titanium gray all in one pocket knife. If you had pitched that to me verbally, I would go, ew, God, no. But man, it looks really sharp together here. And only you can determine that if that's going to work for you or not. You're looking at your screen right now, making that decision now. I'm going to buy this immediately, or I don't like all that combination of colors. You already know this. You don't need me to justify it. But for me personally, seeing everything come together on this knife, it just works. And I love it. So if you're looking for something way out of the ordinary, expertly manufactured, perfectly machined, perfectly finished, and well executed in every possible way, and stay well under $500, this is going to be a great way to do it. With that, I'm out of here because I've just reminded myself from the beginning of this video that I have other knives to review. So I'm going to get my happy ass on to doing that. And I'll see you on those videos.